Have you ever stopped to think about which one of these three models you're following for your retirement? But wait, are there just three models? Maybe there's a fourth one. I'll explain more on that later. The first model is where we simply save up a lot of money so we can live off the interest. This model brings to mind the 4% rule. This rule states that if we withdraw just 4% of our assets from our investment on a regular basis, it should be able to feed us like this for an entire lifetime. For example, if at retirement you had $1 million in your portfolio, you could withdraw $40,000, which is that 4%, every year out of that portfolio without the risk of running out of money. The problem with this portfolio is the person has to trade so many years, so much time from their life to make it work. Of course, this is paired with some good luck and good timing on their investments. I don't mind taking a risk with the timing and the good luck on the investment part, but it's that 45 years of grinding and giving up so much. That's the part that bothers me. The second model is one more of bringing frugality into the mix. Or in other words, proactively choosing to live with less throughout life so we don't have to have as much saved in our retirement to cover our expenses. In the first model, we used that $1 million portfolio producing the 4%, which was the $40,000 a year. In the second model, maybe a $500,000 portfolio is just fine. It would produce $20,000 a year, but if we've reduced our expenses to that, that's going to work. In this model, we didn't have to work as hard throughout life and we had a lot more time to do the things we enjoy. But at the end of the day, we did have to learn with less of the things that money can buy. These first two models were geared around the idea that we would work to roughly age 65 and then stop working altogether to enter retirement. And then in retirement, we'd live happily ever after off of our savings. The third model takes a little bit of a different approach and involves working longer in life. Now hold on, let me explain. It's not what you think. We've all heard the saying, if you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life. This third model is themed around that idea. If you could make money doing what you enjoyed, is it really work? Very seldom do you drive by a construction site and look out there and see someone in their 70s conducting the typical tasks that you'd find on a construction site. But it's not uncommon to see someone in their 70s being an active owner of a construction company. Now, part of the reason is obvious. It's kind of hard for someone in their 70s to exert that type of physical labor. But a bigger reason, I believe, has to do with passion. You see, when it's his business, he owns it. It's easy for him to get excited about what the business is capable of doing next year. This kind of passion can keep someone working well past the age of 65. Or is it working? The guy likely started off in a role where he did have to do manual labor, but he figured out a way to stay in the business without having to do the tasks that he no longer wanted or was able to do. There's a preacher from the Tampa, Florida area who just loves to preach. But let's be honest, to a degree, churches run like a business, and if there were no preaching, then no paycheck. It's definitely a lot easier for preachers and pastors to stand in front of the church well past their 65th birthday. But because he doesn't know if or when his passion might change, perhaps his health could change, or even the needs of the church could change, he began to leverage some things now. He shares an idea that some of you, not all of you, should consider for yourselves. The idea is to record the things you're doing on a regular basis, especially if you're passionate about them. So when he walks up to the podium or the pulpit to preach, there's already a camera on him. He preaches to the masses, takes the footage off the camera, and either edits it or has someone else do it. With a great video in hand, he drops it on YouTube and makes thousands of dollars, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars each month on that content. I believe he's also written a book. So you see, he's setting himself up for his message and his revenue to live on well past the age of 65. This is regardless of whether or not he's able or willing to stand up to the podium. So Model 3 is a combination of doing what we love so much that we don't focus on a retirement date and figuring out ways to leverage the other resources that we're not able or willing to do during typical retirement age. But then there's a fourth model that I try to follow for myself when it pertains to retirement. This fourth model takes all of the previous three models and puts them together into one combination. What I'm taking away from Model 1 is I do want to build up a lot of assets that can be invested and earn compound interest. But I don't want to do it working for someone else for hours and years so that I miss out on so much in life. So I'm trying to build my wealth around the things that I love. I'm good at helping people with personal finance and retirement, but I love teaching. Therefore, I spend a good portion of every week creating content around these strategies. These videos help me set appointments with clients and build my business, but they'll also sit on the shelves of TikTok and YouTube and so many other resources for years to come. They'll continue to spread my message and bring in revenue. I've written a book, and my wife and I have also built an online course for retirement planning. These are all things that help us spread our message and bring in revenue while we sleep. But in this fourth model, I also borrow qualities from model number 2, which is to live below my means. This habit by far is the one that's most difficult for me. I grew up liking toys and gadgets that were associated with my hobbies a lot. God has purposely taken me through a number of financial valleys throughout life. These valleys have taught me that enjoyment, pure, true enjoyment, can be intimately present regardless of how long my boat is or how many fishing rods I have. Now, I could use another couple fishing rods. I'm just kidding. I opened this video by asking you which of these models you are following for your retirement. I don't think any one of them are right or wrong per se, but I would definitely encourage you to build your model using the right balance of models 1, 2, and 3. I'd love to hear in the comments what you came up with. Thank you for watching, and until next time, may God bless you.